Welcome here to Jubilee Circle. Hang on a second. I got to make one adjustment up here on the stage because I'm kind of loud. All right. Okay. Now I don't want to feedback. Good morning. Welcome to Jubilee Circle, everybody. We appreciate you being out there in your own home or wherever you are watching from this morning. And we really appreciate you being here in the building and enjoying us live and in person. And we would love to have any of y'all out there watching come and join us live and in person. We have a good time here at Jubilee Circle. And today we are beginning our holiday mini via that we call AHSCKNYE.
Bless you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can say that however you want. We are celebrating the season of Advent, Hanukkah, Solstice, Christmas, New Year's, and Epiphany. So our theme for the Via is called Ordinary Miracles. So we are going to be celebrating the ways we can encounter miracles in all of the mundane and ordinary times of our lives. And so today begins the season of Advent. This is the 4 weeks before Christmas that are set aside as a time of waiting, an active anticipation of the birth of the Christ child. Now, waiting is not something we humans do very well at all. And I think it's because we expect waiting to pay off in some way. Something arrives that we're looking forward to, like a kid for Christmas morning or the birth of the baby Jesus. But what if, though, waiting isn't something that's active, but instead it's a quality that we are called to embody? Like compassion or joy or empathy or love, perhaps waiting is simply something we're called to bring out into the world for no other reason than it's what and who we are. Instead of seeing Advent then as a time to wait expectantly, we can begin to see it as a time to cultivate a quality of waiting in our lives, something we do not in anticipation of something happening, but as something we become in this world. We wait not as a means to an end, but as a spiritual practice, knowing that it is that gentle quality that allows us to enter the spaciousness of God in more real and loving ways. And once we can simply be here, Teacher Sadhguru says, you become aware of the larger dimension of the existence, which is always in action. You become aware that you are a part of it. Or as those theological songwriters Holland Dozier and Holland once observed, you can't hurry love. Just trust. Give it time, no matter how long it takes. When we are not in a hurry for love to manifest within us or out in the world, we can cultivate a quality of joyful waiting within the larger dimension of existence, that life-giving action that always invites us to be active participants. And when we can reach that point of holy waiting, Jubilance, then we get to say, oh yeah, please rise as you're able. And as we do with every Jubilee Circle, we begin by remembering the elements of air and water and earth and fire. And we call the 4 directions, but first we burn some black sage, and we invite you in this time to set your intention for this day, to set your intention for this world, to set your intention toward love instead of fear. And we burn sage in that manner, and we orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the 4 directions. I invite you to turn and face the east. The sun rose this morning. Just another ordinary miracle. Holy One, remind us that though we may have science to explain the rising and the setting of the sun each day, it's still a miracle that our little planet, among all of those that surround us, has just the right atmosphere, just the right amount of water and oxygen to sustain life as we know it. So let us breathe deeply and enjoy this atmosphere, this little planet that we live on in this vast universe. And remind us, Holy One, of the miracle of this creation. Quarter turn to the right and we face the south. As we languish in the cooler temperatures of winter, Holy One, remind us that the ordinary miracle of summer and its warm southerly winds, it's still around, it's just down there in the southern hemisphere. We can't see summer, we can't feel the warm winds blowing on our skin, but it still exists over on the other side of the world. So remind us, Holy One, this is how miracles work. They exist, even if we are not aware of them. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the west. As we experience the miracle of the earth turning, the sun setting, the stars rising this night and every night, may we be reminded of all of the ordinary miracles that we have experienced during this day. The miracle of a smile, the miracle of a hug, the miracle of getting somewhere on time and arriving safely and sound against all odds. Help us, Holy One, to shed all the cynicism and doubts and embrace even the smallest ordinary miracles of today. Quarter turn to the right and we face the north. As the cold weather grips our half of the world, we are reminded of the ordinary miracle of freezing temperatures. It's not only there to help us keep food fresh for long periods of time, but it can be refreshing for us as well. Help us, Holy One, to recognize that the cold, barren times in our lives really are just ordinary miracles as we await the spring thaw that allows new life to emerge. And as we turn back toward the center, you'll find a bunch of walking, talking, sleeping, eating, and belching ordinary miracles right here and out there. We often get so caught up in our own thoughts and worries that we forget all the miracles that are occurring around us all the time, waiting to be noticed. So I invite you this morning, Jubilance, make room for those ordinary miracles in your life, even if they don't show up like you expect them to, because when you do finally see them and realize them, all you'll know to say is, oh, yeah. Let me back over here. Yeah, double dip. All right. Okay. And Jim has rigged Jim Mounts, our amazing video producer over here, has rigged the television set so you can actually see the TV, so you can you'll have the readings and the lyrics and everything up there on the screen. Yay. Yeah, no, he's amazing. He just does more amazing stuff. But if you're out there watching remotely, you can download the bulletin at jubileecircle.com, and you will have all of that information, lyrics and readings and everything at your fingertips right there on your tablet. All right, so remain standing and we'll sing a little Holland Dozier Holland this morning. This was a hit for the Supremes and Phil Collins, oddly enough. And reminds us that you can't hurry love. You ready, Bruce? You got tuning is caring. Right, he's almost there. Go ahead. I need love, love, oh, to ease my mind. I need to find time, someone to call mine. My mama said you can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, it's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. Just trust, give it time. got some good dancing going on.
Can't hear me?
No.
I can hear me.
Okay, all right. I couldn't.
If that thing can hear me, it's okay.
I mean, you were fine in the mix because I
Oh, I didn't want to
streamed
be
it.
too
Oh, no. No, you were good. Go back to where you were because it was good.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And thank you for the lovely dancing. It's nice to get everybody up and moving this morning. I hope you were dancing out there in your living room. Dancing on the ceiling. Oh, that's a whole different song. All right, so this morning we are celebrating a couple of things. This is the first Sunday in Advent. And the first Sunday we celebrate the 4 weeks before Christmas. And so this is the week that we celebrate hope. And we often speak of hope. It is often a form of what we hope for in the world outside of us, though. So we hope for peace, we hope for joy, we hope for love, but hope is limited when we just project it outward. The world will never be as we hope, because out here is the ego's playground and our classroom. And the hope of the holy, though, that's where we find it within, that assurance that everything we hope for will come to pass when we find, touch, and live into the peace and joy and love that we all possess within. A Course in Miracles from lesson 165 says, "Practice today in hope, for hope is indeed justified. Your doubts are meaningless, for God is certain, and the thought of the holy is never absent. Sureness must abide within you who are host to God." And as Bob comes up to light our candle, our first candle of hope this holiday season, let us remember that our one and true source of hope remains the holy within, because as the Course assures us, God's love remains beyond our every fear. Today is also the first Sunday in Hanukkah, which continues through Monday, December 6th. And this is also the first time the first candle is lit on the menorah on the first night of Hanukkah. It begins at sundown today. And Hanukkah is an 8-day festival of lights. It begins each year on the 25th day of the Jewish month of Kislev. And because the Hebrew calendar is based on a lunar calendar, the dates of the Jewish holidays according to the Gregorian calendar, which we use, it changes from year to year. So for this reason, the beginning of Hanukkah can range anywhere from late November to even late December. So in short, Hanukkah commemorates the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem after a group of Jewish warriors defeated the occupying Greek armies, and so the festival celebrates the triumph over light and darkness and of spirituality over materiality. The festival commemorates events that took place in Judea more than 2,000 years ago, when the Syrian king ordered the Jews to abandon the Torah and publicly worship the Greek gods, and this act provoked a rebellion led by Judas Maccabeus, and that was climaxed by the retaking of the temple in Jerusalem, which had been desecrated by the Syrians. The army of the Jews won, despite their small number, and in an 8-day celebration, the Maccabees, as the rebels came to be known, cleansed and rededicated the temple. And so according to the Talmud, there was only enough consecrated oil to relight the candelabra for 1 day, but that oil lasted miraculously for 8 days. And so we begin to celebrate with our Jewish friends at sundown the 8 days of Hanukkah. All right. So welcome everybody once again to Jubilee Circle. We are an inclusive progressive interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you, Jess. Yes. Round of applause for Jubilee Circle. And we teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in mainstream religions, in all metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and the inspired secular and religious writers and teachers throughout the ages. And we use popular music, and we use weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, and other community building activities to seek to create a space for everyone to experience their own inner transformation, so then they can go out and be that transformation in the world. And we believe we're all here to expand our souls, to find a deeper meaning in life, to renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, learn how to love wastefully, and undergo a transformation from the inside out, so we can discover how to live more frequently in our higher divine self. And we also recognize we're part of God's good creation. We are made of stardust as well as love and joy. But we humans, we forget this. We believe that we are separate from one another, and we're lost in this world of paradox where you're over here and I'm over here, and I judge others as beautiful or ugly or good or bad or generous or stingy or loving or recalcitrant, but let us remember, Jubilance, our true function here is to continually return to that home that we have never left while we embody and become an open channel for that love here in the world. Oh, yeah. All right, so coming up, just a few announcements. We'll continue our AHSCKNYE theme next week. We're going to use some music from Bachman-Turner Overdrive to celebrate the miracle of doing our work. We're going to take care of some business next week. All right. And I am excited about starting this Wednesday at 7:30. Lee McEachern, who is over there assembling our Christmas tree, thank you, Lee, is going to begin an informal Course in Miracles discussion group that'll meet here on 7:30 on Wednesday nights, beginning this Wednesday. And if you've been studying the course, for years, or if you're just brand new, or you're just getting into it, you'll get a lot out of just sitting around with other students and reading the course and talking about it. So I hope you'll join us. And Friday, December 3rd, this Friday will be our open mic, coffee house and open mic. The feature act begins at 7. Open mic starts at 8, so bring your songs or your stories, poetry, spoken word, whatever talent you have, come to our stage, and we'll have food and drink and all that fun stuff. It'll be great. We're in the works with something called Soundy School. Do you want to say something about this idea, Tricia? Into a microphone.
So instead of Sunday school, Soundy School, and we're looking at doing some meditation and using a lot of different instruments, but a set of, I took the whole stand with me. My guitar stand. But we're looking at, I've got a whole set of singing bowls and some other singing bowls and some other instruments next door. So what we'll do is have meditation before the service. And think of it as Sunday school, but it's Soundy School for meditation and some meditative singing. So that's what we're looking to start, and probably we're going to do that the first of the year. And we're working out the times, but 10:15 we're thinking.
Yeah, we're gonna give you all the information. I've been told that the sound is kind of wonky, so I'm going to try to boost the sound for our folks listening. Anybody, if y'all let us know. Anyway, how does it look? How does the level look over there, Jim? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay. All right. Jim says the levels are okay, so I turned things up just a little bit. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully, yes. Bob. Oh yes. Thank you for reminding us. This past Friday was Keith's birthday, so we have to. He's 21 now, finally. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Keith. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Many more, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad Keith is here to see another birthday. All right. Yeah. Any other announcements? Anything else I'm missing?
Did you want to say something about the time?
We're considering as well swapping times to start at 10:30 instead of 11. Is that something that in the room, just the temperature of the room, would that be? Bob don't like it. Okay, we got some yeses and some lukewarms, so we'll put that back on the table and be talking about that. So, all right.
And Soundy School will depend upon what time.
Right, and Soundy School will depend on what time we start. If we start at 10:30, then that'll start about 10. Yeah, and if we stay at 11, then it'll be about 10:30. So, all right. Hear these wise and holy words. Ding.
Who's got the? Oh.
He's got the dinger in his hands. All right. From the mystic and teacher Sadhguru, people have always misunderstood meditation as some kind of activity. No, it is a quality. This is a fundamental difference. Prayer means you are talking to God. You are trying to tell him your vows, your expectations, or whatever else. Meditation means you're willing to just listen to existence, to the ultimate nature of creation. You have nothing to say, you simply listen. That is meditation. Just waiting, not for anything in particular. If you just wait without doing your thing, the existence will do its thing. Once you are simply there, you become aware of the larger dimension of the existence, which is always in action. You become aware that you are part of it. From A Course in Miracles, chapter 7. God's meaning waits in the kingdom because that is where God placed it. It does not wait in time. It merely rests in the kingdom because it belongs there as you do. To be in the kingdom is merely to focus your full attention on it. As long as you believe you can attend to what is not true, you are accepting conflict as your choice. Is that really a choice? It seems to be, but seeming and reality are hardly the same. You who are the kingdom are not concerned with seeming. Reality is yours because you are reality. This is how having and being are ultimately reconciled, not in the kingdom, but in your mind. The altar there is the only reality. The altar is perfectly clear in thought because it is a reflection of perfect thought. Your right mind sees only holy siblings because it sees only its own light. And from the Hebrew Scriptures, Psalm 62, verses 1 through 2 and verse 9. For God alone my soul waits. From God comes my salvation. The Holy alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall never be shaken. Those of low estate are but a breath. Those of high estate are a delusion. In the balances they go up. They are together lighter than a breath. These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing. And it's a new mini via, so that means it's a new hugging song. So I invite you to greet one another during this song, however that is, elbows, hugs, waves. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Cece's up to greet. Hey, baby. I'm standing on a planet, breathing in the atmosphere. Waves vibrating in the air are beating on my ears. Invisible forces are holding me down. I am spinning faster than the speed of sound. I'm being bombarded by electromagnetic beams, flying through my body, shining red and blue and green. 100 million signals are racing through my brain. Guess it must be just another ordinary day. An ordinary day. For me and Captain Kirk. Every fact is so absurd in this science fiction world. An ordinary day in the merry land of Oz, psychedelic mind of God. I'm losing my voice. Go ahead. There's a giant black hole in the center of the galaxy. There's a blueprint of my bones in every single cell of me. Everything with waves, warping time and space. Yes, it must be just another ordinary day. An ordinary day. The Mad Hatter's having tea. Oompa Loompas making sweets. This really won't reality. Ordinary day up in this dream. Another ordinary day. Hey, hey. Another ordinary day. Hey, hey. Just another ordinary day.
That happened to me too. And also this left arm goes numb and feel what I'm doing. Okay.
All right, everybody. I think I may have recovered. Let's see. Let's see. Aye. Maybe not completely. Hang on. All right. Our song this morning.
Gesundheit.
things that happen on stage, live. All right. We'll see how this goes. If you're praying sorts. Cece's over here trying to give me comfort. Good girl. All right. This song comes from the British folk rock band called Mumford and Sons. This song is called I Will Wait. Comes from their 2012 release, Babel. All right. 2, 3, 4. Like a stone, and I fell heavy into your arms. These days of dust, which we've known, will blow away with this new sun. Doctor is never usually a fun experience, but according to a survey done a few years ago, the majority of patients said this one thing is what they hated the most about doctor visits. Not the fear of what the doctor might say, how much the trip might ultimately cost them. The one thing that 63% of those surveyed hated the most was
Waiting.
That's not 63%, I don't think. But for you out there, Bob said, prostate exam. The rest of them got it right. Waiting. Whether it's in a doctor's office, in line for an event, or anything else that we got to queue up for. We humans, we hate to wait. We feel like our time is being wasted. Even if we didn't have anything else planned to actually do during that time, waiting just makes us uncomfortable. It sometimes makes us angry, especially if we feel like we're being unjustly delayed by an accident that delays traffic or some other event outside of our control that waylays us. Psychologists say waiting tweaks our sense of fairness as we see others go ahead of us or cut in line. We become impatient. We become dissatisfied. Today, though, begins an intentional period of waiting that can teach us how to approach this subject with a little more clarity, and if we do it right, maybe more joy and patience and love. In fact, I dare say that if we can learn to wait intentionally with an expectation that nothing happens until the time is ripe, then we'll come to find that we not only welcome waiting, but maybe we even deliberately seek it out. Advent, which begins today and marks the 4 weeks before the legend of Jesus' birth at Christmas time, is a time of expectation as we anticipate the arrival of the baby that Christians believe to be the Messiah who would show them the way out of both spiritual and literal bondage. It's a time to prepare our hearts and our minds for the Christ's arrival by reflecting on the mistakes that we've made or the things that we've done or said or thought that might have hurt ourselves as others, as well as a time to recommit to living in grace and in love in the world. And of course, it was that theologian Tom Petty who once observed that the waiting is the hardest part, but he's not wrong. But if we adapt Advent's expectant spirit of waiting, we can begin to make waiting easier and maybe even joyous in many ways. That word, expecting, it became a euphemism for being pregnant back in 1817. And that's really the kind of waiting that we're going for, a waiting that brings a sense of aliveness into our awareness, a sense that our lives are being ripened by our spiritual practices, and whatever is meant to be birthed or emerge from us into this world will arrive at its appointed time. This awareness of aliveness, the joyous waiting, is what author and teacher Sadhguru says should be our approach to meditation. Prayer, he says, is different from meditation. When we pray, we talk a lot, whether it's in our heads or out loud. We're making requests of God to do something, prevent something, give us something, usually from this outside world. Meditation, though, is a time of waiting. It is a time to simply be alive in the presence of the flow and the spaciousness that is life itself. If you just wait without doing your own thing, Sadhguru says, the existence will do its thing. Once you are simply there, you become aware of the larger dimension of this existence, which is always in action. You become aware that you are part of it. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't wait to experience that. Or maybe more accurately, I look forward to waiting to experience that. And that's the season of Advent, Jubilance, when we look forward to waiting, to simply be here without having to do our own thing, so we can allow the holy to do its thing. And this is a reminder that the part of us that hates waiting is, of course, our ego, because it always wants to be doing its own thing, and it will direct us to do whatever it believes should be our own thing at that moment. We feel impatient when we wait because we think we're special. We got more important stuff to do than everybody else in this room, so how dare anyone delay the fulfillment of our very important agenda in this moment? What if, though? What if this moment has an agenda for you and not the other way around? What if this moment is simply waiting for you to look up and notice that joy and peace and love and enlightenment is always being offered to you right now, but you are so busy out there searching for joy and peace and love and enlightenment, you never recognize that it's already here. It's already within you. What if the Holy is asking you every moment of your life to just wait? To stop being so dang busy with your ego schemes and plans and just be here now. Not to talk to God, not even to try to listen to what God is saying, but to wait, to feel what it is that God is trying to grow within you and birth into this world. When Mary was told of the baby that she would give birth to, she didn't ask a lot of questions. She simply waited. She trusted that whatever the Holy intended for her to bring forth into the world would emerge at that perfect time and perfect place. And she would know in that moment what to do. She didn't have to worry about it before then. Jubilance, this is a joyful kind of waiting. Mary had no idea what was going to come from all of her waiting, but she was willing to allow what would emerge from her to change the world. I think Mary understood what A Course in Miracles would teach thousands of years later, that God's meaning does not wait in time. Instead, it waits within God's realm, which is that timeless place inside of all of us that we call our higher divine self. So to get yourself inside of that realm, A Course in Miracles says, it is merely to focus your full attention on it. Another word for that, meditation. This is a call to wait at the altar that is within each of us, that divine place that we can only touch with a joyful sense of waiting that ignores all of the complaints of the ego that we are wasting our time sitting around in meditation when we could be doing something and accomplishing something. Our ego believes that unless we are constantly out here pursuing happiness, we're not going to be able to have what we need or become who we think we want to become. But A Course puts that to rest when we wait on the Holy at that inner altar of our higher divine self. Having and being are ultimately reconciled, it said, and it's reconciled in our mind, and we finally remember who we truly are. When we say to the Holy, I will wait for you, we will see that the light within us is the same light within all of us. Breathe deeply. Hang on. I don't think I have the right chords here. Hang on. I do not. I know. Tell me. Okay. I'm just going to have to go off of this because these are not the right chords. Yeah, so be mine. 2, 3, 4. So break my step and relent. You forgave, and I won't forget. Know what we've seen, and him with less. Now in some way, shake the excess. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait Oh my, glad I noticed that. That would have been ugly. For God alone, my soul waits, wrote that ancient psalmist. From God comes my salvation. The Hebrew word for waits, dumiyah. There you go, here's your Greek lesson. Dumiyah, or your Hebrew lesson. Dumiyah. It means stillness. It means quiet. It means confident waiting or repose. However, it also means resignation, which is what I believe Sadhguru and A Course is talking about when they talk about waiting. We don't wait with some expectation that something great's going to happen, Santa Claus is going to come, or even in a Savior that's going to be born to take away the sins of the world. No, we wait in resignation, in surrender, in a blissful state of aliveness that welcomes whatever comes or whatever does not come. Like the characters in the famous play Waiting for Godot, we show up every day to wait. While Godot is ultimately a no-show in their illusory reality, the characters do what we all do. They laugh and they argue and they play and they spend their time together. In short, they go on living while they wait. Even if Godot never appears, the characters have experienced the aliveness of their waiting. And this jubilance is our ultimate goal, not just in meditation, but in life, to say, I will wait for you, even if whatever we are expecting never arrives. Pulls a Godot on us. When we stop doing our thing, the ego thing, and allow existence, the holy, the universe, to do its thing, what arrives will be just what is needed in the time and place it is needed, even if what arrives is nothing in our perception. But perhaps it's everything that arrives. Doesn't mean we don't do anything. Like those waiting for Godot, we live. But we live in a whole different way. We allow the aliveness of the Spirit to move in, through, and around us in everything we do, everything we think, everything we say. And from this waiting, this kind of waiting, the psalmist says, comes salvation. And this is not the kind of salvation we expect when baby Jesus grows up and gets himself nailed to a cross to save the world from sin. That Hebrew word for salvation, Yeshua, is the deliverance we need from our mistaken belief in separation. In that waiting, the psalmist himself has an epiphany. He understands the world he sees is merely an illusion and that only God, that one life force of love and unity, is real. The psalmist writes, those of low estate are but a breath. Those of high estate are a delusion. In the balance, they go up. They are together lighter than a breath. And of course echoes this when it says, your right mind sees only holy siblings because it sees only its own light. It says the same thing. Jubilance, our perception of separation and difference, it's but a breath. It's a delusion. But in the balance, when our right mind sees everyone as holy siblings, we are together, lighter than a breath. The psalmist didn't realize any of this through prayer and supplication to God. It was a revelation that emerged from waiting as a form of resignation and surrender of how we think this world should look and feel and act. And of course tells us that we have no idea at all what is in our best interest. And our ego tells us we know exactly what we want, and we know exactly how the world should be, and we got the law of attraction, and so we're going to bring it right to us. But which tactic do you think is going to bring you less suffering? Which plan will allow the holy to be your guide and teacher? And which plan will allow the ego to dictate your direction? Our ego is always going to be singing that tune that the waiting is the hardest part. It's always going to seek to keep us feeling special, annoyed at anything that we think is wasting our time, such as meditation or even prayer. It's going to find a million things to keep you otherwise occupied. Your phone, social media, your worries about the future, your concern about your health, your bank account, your reputation. It will tell you that if you waste time, you will never find peace or joy or happiness. You got to get busy finding it. But Sadhguru, of course, and the psalmist, they tell you the truth. Wasting time, especially in complete resignation and surrender of your ego's desire, is the quickest way, not just to save time, but to create more of it, because it's an illusion anyway. The saying goes, if you don't have time to meditate for an hour, do 2. That's how you create time. The first step on any spiritual path, though, is always the same. It is willingness. You have to be willing to say to the holy, I will wait for you. The second step is awareness, because you know, as soon as you resign yourself to relaxing in the holy's waiting room, the ego's going to start to complain and cajole and threaten you. It will use all of its tools. Fear, grievance, irritation, anger, depression, futility. It's going to try to lure you back into its insistence that you got to be busy doing something in the world, or you're never going to have what you need or become what you think you want to be. You must become aware of the tricks so you don't follow it once again down the path that tempts you to just swap an illusion for an illusion, and you end up in the same egoic waiting room with just different art on the wall. Right? You've been there. The third step is to understand the power behind the psalmist's words. The holy alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall never be shaken. The key to this kind of holy waiting, Jubilance, is to recognize where you have put your faith. You must completely, and I say completely, withdraw your faith in the ego and make the holy your only rock, your only deliverance, the only fortress that you need. In this waiting, you will be made so strong that the ego's taunts and temptations to believe in separation will never shake you from the knowledge of your ultimate unity with God and with one another. And you will, at this stage, just naturally begin to embody the light of the holy that is already burning so brightly within you. So the question you got to answer this morning, Jubilance, is this. Are you willing to wait upon the holy? Put aside your egoic agenda. Put aside your expectations. Put aside your hope for your own personal gain or glorification. Are you ready to become aware of the ego's tricks that pull you away from that willingness? And will you recognize where your true strength and faith lies and be vigilant against the ego's trickery by making the holy your only teacher, that rock, that deliverance and fortress? Because when you are willing to wait, aware of the ego's temptations to impatience, and recognize the holy as your only rock, then you will step into your higher divine self and become the embodiment of that holy light of love that seeks to shine through you into this world. So if you're ready and you're willing to wait, Jubilance, that first step is to say to the holy, I will wait for you. Huh? Go intro. Intro. 2, 3, 4. Now I'll be bold as well as strong. Use my head alongside my heart. So take my flesh and Cece? She has just not budged. I love preaching with a poppy. Where's my bull? Where's my girl? All right. I invite you during this time of prayer and meditation to remember that we're not trying to do something. We always talk about, have you done your meditation? Have you done your prayers? It's not about doing something. We engage in these practices to become the quality of meditation, to become that quality of God's realm, to become the quality of love, to become the quality of peace. And I've had people say to me, well, I don't really have time to meditate, and I'm not consistent with it, and I don't know. It's like we think if you have to do it. It's like push-ups. You can't just do one push-up and go, hey, in shape. You got to do it every day. You got to do something every day. And meditation is cumulative. It's not just one and done or one and hey, I hit some enlightenment. Don't need to do that anymore. No, it's an exercise. And you exercise to become something else, to become healthier, to become happier, all those endorphins. Same with meditation, same with any spiritual practice. It's not just doing it, it's becoming it. So I invite you in this time of prayer and meditation to become what the Holy has created you to be. And that is to be light, joy, peace, and love. Whenever you're ready.
Peace, light, love in me. Peace, light, love in me. Peace, light, love. this quiet hour. Sweet words of wisdom fill my ears. Your words like water keep my soul sustained. Let them rain, let them rain. Peace, light, love in me. I hold your presence here inside of me. I rest in knowing you are here. Brighter than 1,000 stars across the sky. How you shine, how you shine. Peace, light, love in me. Peace, light, love in me. Peace, light, love in me. Peace, light, and love in me.
Oh, yeah. Beth Viard, everybody. Come back behind the drums and give us some beautiful singing. Thank you. She is usually our drummer, but just introduce the band. Trisha Fopp over here to my right on the 12 string and vocals, and Bruce Clark over here to my left on lead guitar, lead whammy diddle, and vocals, and Michael Sprinkles Reisman over there filling in all the blanks with the violin and the keyboards and anything else we throw at him. Beth Dehart, you just met her just a minute ago, and Keith Edwards Sr., birthday boy, on the bass back there. All right. Money. We have to talk about it every week. You know, I'm not a big fan of talking about money, but I do want to tell you that thanks to your support, we have been doing very well this year. Come on, Jess. See, we got money coming right now. Thank you, Jess. All right. And that is what this is all about. It is about cheerful giving and helping others to give. Thank you, Jess. All right. Thank you. Oh, Jess recently went to Disney, and so she has a Disney mask with Minnie and Mickey on it, and she is festive in her red today. So yes, a cheerful giver. That is what everyone loves. That is what God loves. And we have the example here. And we are cheerful in knowing that those who support us are giving. And we thank you so much for the support that you have given us, especially through all of this COVID stuff. So thank you so much for all that you have given in the past, all that you are giving in the moment, and all that you will give in the future, because it is all one, of course. Time is an illusion. Money is an illusion. But hey, as long as we're living in the illusion, you got to have what you got to have. So we thank you so much for all the support. And if you want to give, you can go to jubileecircle.com. There is a button there that says donate, oddly enough, and it will give you links to PayPal and to Venmo. And also, we do have a good old-fashioned P.O. box for those of you who like to write checks. So that's P.O. Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina, 29204. And thank you so much for being there and supporting Jubilee Circle as we continue to do our thing here in this world. We want you to come along for the ride, be transformed by it, so you can transform the world. And remember, as we go through the week, that friend of ours, Meister Eckhart, tells us if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, that will be enough. And as we come off of this week of gratitude, I hope you've been saying thank you a lot in this past week. And if you haven't, now is the time to do it, to understand that when you are mired deep in that pit of gratitude, that is where you find the most joy. And when you say thank you, no matter what, then you have said the most honest prayer ever. And whatever happens after that prayer is guaranteed to make you say, oh yeah. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together, hearts and arms open wide. Make our way by walking, and love will be abide. Path is always open, all travelers tonight. So open up your heart, get those tears cried, because we all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. Oh yeah. We will open up the Zoom room. Not sure how much chatty we'll have, but because we've got some potluck to eat, but we'll get some food and turn on the Zoom room and join us if you want. If not, have a lovely week. Oh yeah.